Ripple XRP, the SEC circus continues. We have many lies that have been exposed, and Brad Garlinghouse has called out Gary Gensler on his hypocrisy in the recent video that he talks about non-compliance in the crypto space. And we also have some big news with regards to the SEC and how they have filed a response about the inaccuracies and errors on their end. So we've got a lot of information to talk about, and of course we will be looking at the price action for both XRP and XLM coin towards the end of the video. Is that we have some news from Elizabeth Warren talking about the crypto industry as well. So we're going to take a look at that. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So the first bit of news that we have comes from Gary Gensler 18 hours ago, talking about a lot of non-compliance in the crypto space. Now we know that this is BS, but let's take a look at what he said and then we will look at Brad's response.
There's a lot of non-compliance with the securities laws that are there to help give you the disclosure so you can make the investment decision, but also to protect you against fraud and manipulation. And there's been far too much fraud and bad actors in the crypto field. There's a lot of non-compliance, not only with the securities laws, but other laws around anti-money laundering and protecting the public. This is really the Wild West, and it's around the globe. I would say again, this is a small part of our U.S. capital markets, but it can undermine confidence when so many people have been hurt, and all they can do is then stand in line at a bankruptcy court, and it's not just one actor, and it's not just, oh, it's just a few bad actors over here. This is something that pervades a lot of this field globally. And it's hard for the good faith actors even to compete because there's so many challenges elsewhere.
So as we know, the SEC has not protected the public, they has not protected investors, and they actually have harmed us on our end. Brad Garlinghouse has responded to this video saying stunning hypocrisy from the person who cozied up to the biggest fraud in recent memory. So as we know, that is to do with the FTX. And Gensler is a political liability whose actions have decimated consumers and destroyed the integrity of the SEC while remaining buddy-buddy with Wall Street. So Gary Gensler is obviously the face of the SEC, and they have done many malpractices ever since. We also even know that with Grayscale, they won the lawsuit against the SEC when the SEC actually denied the application to convert its GBTC product into a Bitcoin spot ETF, which is now going to go into the application phase in January. And not only that, but also with Ripple as well. We are basically 3-0 against the SEC, and they have essentially already lost the court case, but they're still trying to drag it out. So a lot of hypocrisy from Gary Gensler. But not only that, we also have this SEC filing that David Schwartz has shared, and you'll see over here highlighted, the commission attorneys failed to correct that statement when they learned of the inaccuracy. So as far as I'm aware, when it comes to attorneys and lawyers, if you know that a statement is inaccurate once you have learned of it, of course you would recorrect that statement, or you would pull back on what was said in order to be truthful, right? Because that's what it is when it comes to the law. You're not meant to be biased, you're meant to present all of the facts, and you're meant to uphold your oath. Now this goes to show that they're basically caught red-handed, and I'm also going to be showing you some more as well. You can see over here it says that it did not actually reflect what she has said. As soon as Welsh made the statement, as an investigative attorney, she did not believe the statement was material. So this just goes to show that we have attorneys that are not upholding the law, and this all comes down to the lies being exposed. And with that, we see over here that the SEC says it seriously and deeply regrets certain errors made in the course of an enforcement proceeding, but argues no sanctions are warranted, so there's no consequences at all. Well, let's have a look at this bit here. It says the Division of Enforcement will hold a mandatory training for all division staff involved in investigations and litigation in January 2024 on the importance of accuracy and candor and the duty to correct inaccuracies when identified. Now, I'm not quite sure about you, but this should be basic training, and in fact this should be something that you should be aware of and implement and practice before you even commence your litigation training. The fact that we don't even have lawyers that are implementing things like accuracy and the duty to understand that when there are inaccuracies, to effectively look into that and to therefore correct them or tell the truth. This goes to show just how bad it actually is and the state of the SEC. And if we have a look at what Stuart Aldultry said about this. He said, so let me get this straight, government lawyers lied to the court to gain an unfair advantage in litigation, and the SEC's answer is to say that going forward, those lawyers will now be taught to be honest when saying things to judges. Gensler's SEC has become a travesty, and all of these lies are unfolding in front of us in our very own eyes. The fact that we don't even have lawyers that are upholding the law, and it goes to show how corrupt they are when it comes to these court cases, means that the public basically can't even trust those in power anymore, because they are now using their advantage to basically be corrupt, and they should be held accountable. They should not be having to have training and then it all gets pushed under the rug. There should be accountability here and responsibility. Does that mean to take their license away from them as a lawyer, or does it mean some sort of other punishment? I'm not quite sure about that, but what it does mean is that there needs to be some sort of consequence. Now let's have a look at Elizabeth Warren. So she said the cryptocurrencies are spending millions building an army of former defense and law enforcement officials to lobby against new rules shutting down crypto finance terrorism. This revolving door boosts the crypto industry but endangers our national security. Now again, this is her just going on her rant, but the last time I checked, why didn't she admit how much money laundering and fraud still takes place in fiat currency, never mind cryptocurrency in general? I believe that she's getting paid to make lies up about cryptocurrency and for our laws to not pass. But what I thought was really funny is the fact that we now have this readers bit where you can add context onto these tweets on X, and cryptocurrency is objectively less than 1% of all monetary illicit activity, meaning that of course there is going to be illegal activity going on cryptocurrency, but it's less than 1%, right? It's not the majority, and when we look at things, we always look at the majority and we never look at the outliers. So let's take a look at the other 99% that is involved in illicit activity, and a large majority of that is going to be to do with fiat currency. Before we have a look at the price action, it says over here that the SEC could make crypto history in the new year with the first spot Bitcoin ETF approval, and basically what it comes down to is, yes, we could potentially have these approvals done by January the 10th, but we may not have one approval, we may have a couple, right? So we may have roughly between 8 to 10 approvals coming in within that week, and we know there's going to be trillions of dollars also coming in, so we're going to see massive inflows. And it says over here that the SEC could potentially approve several applications at once, and so that is those big boys. You're talking BlackRock, Grayscale, Franklin Templeton, all with their ETFs, and we know that they already spoke with the SEC and had meetings in December too. Now, before we look at the price action, guys, just to let you know, XRP has now been flipped by Solana, so XRP is in 6th position and Solana is in 5th position. If we have a look at the price for today, we are currently trading at 62 cents. On the 24-hour volume, we are up by 1%, and if we have a look at our market cap, we are sitting at 33.5 billion. So it is a pretty much a big gap between Solana and XRP, because the market cap is at 40.2 billion for Solana. So we could be placed here at number 6 for quite some time, especially if we don't see the price action increasing. But I do want XRP coin to go to 63 cents. If we have a look at the price of XLM coin, today we are trading within that mid-range of the 12 cents. And on the 24 hours, we are up by 2.93%. Our market cap is at 3.5 billion. And again, for XLM coin, I do want it to hit 13 cents. Let's see if we can get it there before we have the next price target of 15 cents. Guys, if you want daily XRP and XLM coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.